Are you willing to sacrifice your life for this career when they aren't willing to give you what you need? And that question, why are you willing to sacrifice your life for this, was such an eye-opening truth because that is what I had been doing my whole career. I had continued to sacrifice my health. I had shingles at 28 years old. I had not so bad in my shoulders that the massage therapist couldn't get them out. By that last job in California, I had a bulging disc in my neck
Jeez.
that I was dealing with, literally ice in the middle of these appointments to deal with. I had horrible allergy problems. I had horrible back problems. I had had injections on my back for sciatic problems. Like I had all of these things, right? And I had consistently sacrificed my health for my job and for my responsibilities.
Each week, I'm joined by my co-host Claudia Cuevas, licensed marriage and family therapist, as we explore the stories, lessons, and emotional realities behind transformation. Because reinvention isn't just about changing our circumstances. It's about understanding yourself. It's about healing. It's about letting go of who you thought you had to be so you can become who you were always meant to be. Whether you're navigating burnout, grief, identity shifts, career transitions, entrepreneurships, caregiving, or simply asking yourself, what's next? You are not alone. So take a breath, pull up a chair, and join us at the table. This is Elevate Within. Hello and welcome back to Elevate Within. I'm your host, Sandy Davis.
And I'm your co-host, Claudia Cuevas.
This week, we sat down with Blake Schofield for a powerful conversation about career transitions, self-trust, burnout, and the courage it takes to build the life that feels aligned from the inside out. Blake shared her journey of leaving a successful corporate career, navigating uncertainty, redefining success on her own terms, and helping others uncover the patterns, beliefs, and conditioning that kept them from disconnecting from themselves. She also spoke openly about the importance of listening to your inner knowing, honoring what no longer fits, and trusting yourself enough to move forward to what does. Today, Claudia and I are going to go deeper into some of the emotional and psychological themes behind Blake's story. Let's get into it. Claudia, what stood out to you about Blake's story the most?
First of all, just her comfort in being emotional, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm listening and I'm watching and I'm just like, she is just so comfortable with being emotional. I'm not that comfortable with being emotional in public. But she is so comfortable in owning that she's an emotional person.
She
And so,
felt free. I was a little
yes,
envious of that. I was like, man, she is so free. She's
I
so free.
know. And I was like, as she was talking about, because, I could see her code switching a little bit when she would talk about like and I did this and it's successful and blah, 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 like the corporate talk and stuff, that I was like, there was no way she was that emotional, that she was living her authentic self, being that emotional while she was in that corporate space. No way. Right. And for her to be able to tap into it so easily and just own it. I really loved how she talked about like that her emotions now, she knows that that's the road map for her, right? Like it's the her compass, she said, like it's her guiding post. That I was like, that is just so great. But it made me think of like, not only her, but like how much do we repress our emotions?
Too much because we're not allowed to.
Yes. And we've heard it, we're going to hear it later on about just, I'm not allowed, I need to be a certain way. But for her, it was like constantly having to, shut it down, put it away, compartmentalize it because it doesn't align with being successful. And
And she was very successful on paper, like every job she was at, every position, every account she had. I mean, she persevered like there was no tomorrow. And I think, and it's toxic for me to say this, but I think she did that because she didn't have the emotion. It was just
Mhm.
go, 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 although she wasn't happy.
Again, she said every ride she took was the ride to burnout, right? Like that was one of her things that I was like, oh my gosh. Because again,
Yeah.
it was, I'm going to do this. Again, all those things that she was, right? All those things that made her successful is part of her personality. But she, there was a lot of like type A and there was a lot of rigid thinking in order to get to the next thing. But the destination always for her was happiness, which is
Mm-hmm.
probably for a lot of us, right? Where I'm going to do this, I'm going to get it here. And then I'm going to, if I make this bonus, if I can buy the Louis, I can get the next thing. Cause
Yeah.
that should align with being successful. And therefore it should be happy. I should be happy. And then every time she emotional roadblock, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
happy, doesn't feel good. I don't feel my authentic self. I think early on she talked about that she thought she knew from a very young age that she was very empathetic. We now can see she was
Yeah.
very attuned with her emotions. Like this is her now. I can imagine how like just a sweet girl she was and very kind and very empathetic. And so her thought was, I'm going to be a therapist. I'm going to be a psychologist and I'm going to go in that route. And something happened that veered her away from her authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad thing because again, she now was able to learn all these other things. It was just a constant struggle for her because she wasn't living her purpose, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah. And what a journey. For most women, I think, she persevered and she took on challenges.
Uh-huh.
The accounts she had were like not performing well, and to get them to skyrocket,
Mm-hmm.
to always be like the number one and number two in the country,
Mm-hmm.
the sales team with limited resources.
Right.
I think for most women, we think that's the mountaintop. That's where we're supposed to be. And then she's crossing the stage to get an award,
Right.
and she breaks down because she's thinking about her kids
Right. The
and how she's not
sacrifice,
there. Yeah.
right? The
That broke my
sacrifice.
heart.
Yeah. Cause again, I would have been like, what's wrong with that? That sounds cool. That sounds like that sounds like success. Like, how can you not feel good about it? Or how can you not? And it's not that she didn't. It was, again, I think that she was not truly being her authentic self, right? She had
Mm-hmm.
gotten conditioned. She went into this first corporation where she was, performance was everything. You were only as good as your last, LMP. And then when she pivoted to the next company and then she had to restructure, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really think that was the point where she started to, and I think she also said where she started to say like, oh, like think like people can care about like a
You can have
company
a
can,
balance.
yeah, a company can care
Yeah.
about you. What is that like, right? And again, it took her a really long time to make the ultimate pivot, which is this is, I'm going to become a coach and this is really what I want to help other women. She had to go through some of these things to now be able to like know what success is and know how to find it and find your purpose and really tap into your emotions
Yeah.
and be okay with it.
The burnout is real
Yep.
because even though she was highly successful, with these accounts in her career, but she suffered physically,
Oh yeah.
and that's what's happening to a lot of women. So
Well,
it looks great on paper. People are
right,
just like, "Hey, what's wrong with that?" Like you went on these words. It's like I got this bulging disc in my neck.
right.
I'm losing weight.
Yep.
You can't sleep. I know for me, I lost a ton of weight.
Yep.
I couldn't really think. I thought it was brain fog. Could have been premenopause. Who knows? But I just was not happy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And again, and then it's maybe if I do this one other thing, maybe if I get this other account, maybe it's what it is. But really, and you know what it really what you were talking about made me think of like, we've talked about anxiety and we talked about depression and we talked about that, but there is a part where it's called functional depression.
Is it what high? What is it? Is it just functioning depression or high functioning depression?
It's functional depression that happens to high functioning women
Ah,
or people,
yeah.
right?
I was diagnosed with that, and I never even knew what that was. I was like, I remember the first time I heard, but she said high, and I was just like, scored pretty good, not even knowing what the hell it was. It was just like, I do get the gold star. I
Yeah.
am
I was
high.
like, high is good for me.
If I'm gonna be depressed, I'm gonna be the best at it.
Top tier. Yeah, so it looks really different, and I think we're gonna hear a lot of the women talk about what that looks like, and it's sprinkled throughout all the different, people that we're gonna be talking to, but, like, you can hear how high functioning it was, right? Or, like,
Mhm.
I put on the great face, and then I sit down and I cry. The whole drive home, I'm driving, right? I'm
Yeah.
driving and crying the whole way home, and then I pick it up and go. That depression doesn't mean you stop working, doesn't mean you stop being successful, doesn't mean you're breaking down, not being able to get out of, like the typical what you think of like depression. It is
Mhm.
functioning. You feel very zombie like, but you're able to do everything you have to do. You're very task oriented, but you are constantly depleted. So
Yeah.
emotionally is very hard to tap into. Being present for your loved ones is really hard, but you do it. And then
Yeah.
you're taking a shower and you're breaking down, crying, and then you're tapping that away and then getting to bed and going to the gym and getting everything done and then let's go. And so a lot of people are like, "You were depressed? Like I never even like it doesn't look like you were." And it was like
Right.
you don't know what it was going on inside, right? And they're like throwing Tums in their mouth all the time because they're like the
I kept
gastritis.
I kept a bottle of Tums in the top drawer of my desk. That's how bad it was. And one of the things I love about Blake is, she had mentioned like it no longer fit her role, her career. It was just like, yeah, this isn't it. And kudos to her for recognizing it. I
Mhm.
feel bad that, it took her a while, but like most women, it takes us a long time because we have high tolerance
Yep,
of like, we're taught like,
exactly.
hey, you gotta go through the bullshit. You gotta work hard. No one said this was gonna be like all, fun and games or happy. Like this is just what is expected and you do it until you retire. And
Mhm.
hopefully we're
Then you'll
healthy
be
enough
happy.
to,
Yeah,
yeah, then
be
I hope we're
happy.
healthy enough when we're in retirement, just be like, yo, I'm losing all functions here. With
Mhm,
Blake, going through what she went through. You going through what you went through,
mhm, mhm,
with dealing with ovarian cancer
mhm,
and getting pneumonia twice in a
mhm,
year. Those are
mhm.
clear signs of burnout. Me
And
with the
yet
panic attacks.
yep. Yep. And her still, it's not easy to pivot. It's not easy to leave
Mm.
everything, especially if you're being very successful. Like, why would you leave that? Like, you're doing great. And she was in a really, positive work environment. Which is probably why it
Well,
took
for
her that much
some,
longer, right? No, for her, for Blake in particular,
yeah,
which is probably why it took a little bit longer for her to get out because it was like, it's way better than where you were before, right?
yeah.
Even though
I think for
it
the
didn't align.
the one company where they would call out the losers twice in a week,
Oh, yeah.
I think yes, she was successful in it, how she spoke about it, but it was also the anxiety of that.
Yep,
We always have to be on.
yep.
We always have to perform where we're not even checking in with ourselves or
Mhm.
even if we could be like sick or whatever, but it's like, no, I'm on. So nothing else matters.
I mean,
I'm
she said she
on, I'm
carried a book
successful.
that was like this with all the answers
Well,
because it was
all the
just
answers.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
before chat, obviously.
Yeah, well, but it makes me think of like, what is our like physical book that we carry around with all the answers, right? Like this like metaphor that we use because we tend to, right? There's this thing that we carry around when we're trying to perform outside of our purpose or outside of like our authentic self, right? I mean, we wouldn't be having these conversations that we having if like, we were in our purpose. And so
Right.
we carry these like pretend huge books with all the expectations and everything, all the shoulds and everything we should be doing with the answers in order to get through for the next thing. Cause I'll be happy eventually.
Hmm.
Right.
What I found brave was that she finally had a kumbaya moment for herself and like, hey, this isn't working. Yeah, she broke down in her car, looking at like her home where she was living in San Francisco, like, all of this is perfect. And she just took a grenade and chucked it like, no more.
Yeah.
Because, even though at the time, and I think for a lot of women, when we are scaling up in our careers, we think this is it. This is what I want. I'm going to be successful. We're not even asking ourselves, like, is this really what I want? Yeah, we have like bulging discs or, stomach issues, whatever have you, but we're not questioning. We're still on that drive.
Yeah. I think that part of that, the danger in that is that instead of saying, like, is this right for me? We end up saying, well, what's wrong with me? Because this is the path. This is where we're expected to go. You're getting there. Why are you breaking down? How do I fix whatever is going on with me? Because this is the path without ever questioning that our body is red flagging us going, no, 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 this is not the plan. Right. We're like, no, no, no. It must not be the road. It must be me.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until later. And I'm learning that women are now in their 30s
Mm-hmm.
experiencing that burnout early. So
Mm-hmm.
hence the reason why we're putting this series together to educate all women. Like normally, typically you would hear about this in women in their 50s, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
like the hormonal changes. I know I
Mm-hmm.
was going through it. But for women to be like that going in their 30s, that's a sounding of the alarm.
Which I think is like so important that we're having these conversations now because us at our age going through when we're going through and the next generation going through it at a much younger age. Like the saving grace and the thing that I'm really optimistic about is that they get to pivot and really align and really be in their authentic self for much longer time, right? And so the creativity, the differences they'll make, the innovation that will come from that is like, I'm so excited to see it. I'm sorry that you're going through it in your 30s. Like, I know it sucks, but like, we're here. We're here. We're putting it out there. We're giving you the roadmap. We're giving you the support that you need because we can't wait to see what happens with you guys now with 20 years on us, right? If it's happening in their 30s, like when they get to their 50s, like, I can't even imagine all the good stuff that are going to come from it.
Right. The great news is that Blake went back to she realized her life where she was going it no longer fit, right? And
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's the reinvention or just like, hey, I'm going back to my purpose. So now she coaches. So,
Yeah.
and that's like going back to that world of like the therapy and helping others,
Yeah.
right?
She's now in the helping profession, which at
Yes.
7 and 8, she already knew she wanted to be at.
Mm-hmm.
Looks different in a different capacity, but it's still the helping profession. And like, God, the alignment. I mean, you could just tell when she was talking of how like deeply she felt it and how unapologetic she was about
Yeah.
like, if you cry, I cry, we all cry. What's the problem?
There's a song like that in there. Pretty sure.
Maybe.
This is old school. Yeah, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna say it on the next episode. There's a song. I don't. Maybe it's a church song. Now, whoever this, I know if any of my family members listen, be like, "Wow, you don't remember nothing from church?" Be like, "Not at the moment."
Yeah.
So now we're laying on your couch, Claudia. So give the women some advice on what to do in this situation when we are feeling that burnout,
Uh-huh.
identifying the burnout, which obviously be like, happening to the body. But what practice can women do?
I think really a practice of gratitude, right? Um, we really have to become comfortable with being grateful, but not only practicing gratitude, making sure we're not cloaking gratitude with validation, right? And so I recently had a conversation with someone and there was a lot of like, I practice gratitude all the time and I don't, and so, but it still feels, I'm noticing that I'm only grateful when I'm being successful. And so then I'm grateful for this job and I'm grateful for the company that I have. And I'm like, well, you're just cloaking gratitude with validation, right? Gratitude is really about the small stuff, like really aligning with like, I'm grateful for, food, the bird that passed by, like really being able to notice what's around you. I like to give people because it's hard. It's like, sure, I'm grateful. Like, no. So what I have them do is I have them on a notebook write A through Z down the line, and every day try to find something that starts with that letter.
I'm already thinking about Z. I didn't even think about the other ones. I'm already thinking about the hardest letters because that's how my mind works. Be like,
Uh-huh.
what would you see with the letter Z?
Exactly. And so
Is that Z-Quil? Yeah.
You can't. Why can't you be grateful for like getting a good night's sleep? First of all, right?
True.
But
True.
here's what the practice is. The practice is for you to notice the small stuff. It's easy to be grateful for your success. It's easy to be
Mm-hmm.
grateful for the bonus. It's easy to be grateful for, like, but when I have to start looking for like F. And so it makes you pay attention to your surroundings. You start noticing things that you didn't before, like a flower on your way, right? A pheasant that passed by and you're like, wow, pheasant, all of a sudden, right? Like it makes you, it's this, saying of like, stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
This is how you get to stop and smell the roses.
I get it. It's also taking your foot off the pedal,
Yes,
off
because
of the
you
gas
have to
pedal.
be in the present. Look at your surroundings, notice what you haven't noticed. I promise you, people would be like, I had never noticed that there was like a Dairy Queen on this corner. Cause I always stop at McDonald's. Like there's just these things, right? Like that you're just like, I never noticed that like there was this beautiful like oak tree
Yeah.
next to my house or like down the street from me, right? Or this lady that walks her, Chihuahua every morning that I have, it's like, it's just those things. And so that will help you align, right? And then set the course for you to then be able to ask those questions of like, am I shooting or am I wanting? Like, what am I doing today? You have
Mm-hmm.
to be able to slow down.
Even in those high functioning positions and jobs, you saying that that should be a practice will get our foot off the pedal a bit.
Yes. Not only does it help us slow down, it literally will shift your brain from logical to creative, right? So it goes from the right to the
Mm.
left. Because in gratitude, in order to practice gratitude, it's a different part of your brain that you're functioning. It's not in the logical brain. It is in the creative, in the, really noticing things and being able to like be grateful and notice all this. So it shifts your brain. It gives your brain, your logical brain, I need to be successful. I'm using all my frontal lobe. I'm making all kinds of decisions. It gives you want your brain to get a break. Practice this exercise of gratitude
Hmm.
because it will shift it. It's a great way
Hmm.
if you're not feeling good about yourself either. It's a great way to shift out of that whole yucky kind of feeling of yourself because it can't be in both places at the same time.
Mm.
Before we meditate, before we do any other stuff, this exercise will be crucial to get you to those places.
Wow. I never even thought of it like that. So that also helped with like anxiety because the only thing
Yes.
I had someone tell me like, hey, Sandy, you need to have gratitude when you feel like you're burning out, you're having a long day,
Uh-huh.
just burning all cylinders. And I just found myself like, because normally I vent in the car by myself as I'm sitting in the lovely Southern California traffic 405
Right.
or the 10 when I'm in my Ontario office. And there was one time I was like, yeah, I did. I was hitting my head on the steering wheel. I was like, I'm grateful I didn't curse nobody out today or didn't lose it because those are times where you're just like, yo, I'm about to
Uh-huh.
lose it. And you
Uh-huh.
just lose that control. Does that help?
It
Especially like
does. It does. You just um, you run the risk of the gratitude being cloaked with sarcasm, right?
that's what I did wrong. That's what I did
I
wrong.
mean, did it help? But no, right? And so it was
No,
like kinda, but yeah. So that's why I have them go A through Z.
got
You
it.
don't get to control this. I got to get you out of controlling it.
Ah, that's it. That's it. It's the control.
Yep.
Most women, high functioning women, high achieving women, we need to be in control, although we're not, but we need to be in control. And
Mhm.
that gets, because I automatically went to Z. Claudia, you're good. You're
Yeah.
good.
So then go. I don't care how you fill the sheet. Fill it. You have a whole day to do it. You have 24 hours, right? Or 12 hours, or whatever your waking hours are. And you fill it however long it takes you. You don't have to start all over the next day. We get to start all over when we fill it. And so if you didn't get to fill it that first day, tomorrow, why? Because then it becomes, okay, I'm going to find Jay today, right?
Yes.
And it's like that. Did you ever play when you were, that alphabet game when you're driving? that you have to look at the license plate and you have to go like, hey, and then like, I see the Coke thing and the license plate, like all of a sudden the 10-hour trip, it was like, oh, we're there already, because we're so focused on the task and the fun and creative and being like, whatever, all those things that make you be successful, of like, I'm competitive and I have to great. Those are all going to help you. You still got to go through A through Z.
Yeah, I'm going to try that tomorrow. Not tonight, tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes.
I have my debut later. It'll be wine.
There you go. Yes.
That's a happy
It could be
place.
WW, white wine, right?
Red wine for R. Can you do 2 red or no?
Yeah.
No, that's cheating. You can?
Well,
it'd be cheating for me.
Yeah.
But
It'll be
I like that
interesting.
exercise. I like how you brought it home for us. Like,
Yeah.
hey, just try that.
First, before we try all this other stuff, let's become very clear of this practice, because you will notice that you will then be able to be like, and then you see yourself out of it, right? And then you can like quiet your mind, and you can then practice some meditation, and you can then practice some other stuff. But like, this part is probably the best thing to do for high achievers, because it will utilize all your strengths.
Yeah, and mitigate some of the burnout, or we figure out how to pivot or get out of it, or save ourselves so we're not damaging our bodies. Because I know you mentioned before, our bodies is the first thing to tell us something is wrong. So ladies, if you are having the back pains, neck pains, Claudia, you can run them all down, and you ignore it.
Yep. Headaches, issues with your stomach, right? A lot, sciatic pain, like chest pains, a lot of shoulder pain. I'm talking to you ladies in our 50s, right? Yeah. Throwing out our backs all the time, getting sick. Listen, if you're getting more than like 2 colds a year, let alone, you're getting some type of like pneumonia or something, your body's telling you something.
Yeah. And we don't start to recognize it until it's happening to us emotionally, which means the body was telling us first, like, hey, it's kind of like that check engine light.
Yes.
That we ignore on the car. We'd be like, it'll be all right. Like, I know my car. It'll be all right.
And then it starts smoking and you're like, oh, dang.
Right. Yeah. And you'd be like, and now it's just out of I don't drive with the check engine, but I have. It'd just be like, yeah, let me just get to this next destination, which that would equate to. So ladies, once you having that emotional angst, think about the pains and the health issues you were having beforehand. Those are the clear signs of the burnout.
Yep. First signs.
And then try the alphabet.
Yes.
That Claudia mentioned.
A through Z.
A through Z. And y'all can take ZQL for Z. I was like, we don't have any zebras. So now I'm going to be curious now all day tomorrow. I'm going to be looking all around for something that starts with the letter Z.
That is the challenge, is to find XYZ. That is the challenge. You got to you'll be surprised when you find it. You're going to be like, I totally found it.
I'm going to let you know.
And the gratitude is going to be, I found it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Under I found the object for Z. Yeah. And then it takes your mind off of the work, go, go. It's a different challenge.
It gives your brain a break that we so need. Yeah.
Claudia, look at you. Look at you. This is why you're the professional and I'm not. I'm the perfect patient for you.
Can't wait to have more of these.
Yes. This has been awesome. And for folks who listen to the Roundtable first before watching Blake's episode, I highly suggest you go back and watch her episode. It is truly astounding. And thank you.
Thank
Claudia,
you.
Thank you.
Till the next time, guys.
Yes, I will see you next Friday.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye. If this conversation resonated with you, you're not alone. That's exactly why this space exists. Elevate Within is for the high-achieving women in the messy middle, the space between who you were and who you're becoming. The architecture of reinvention is an invitation to pause, to reflect, to heal, and to begin the process of unbecoming everything you were told you had to be, so you could become who you were always meant to be. Be sure to join us each Friday for our Architecture of Reinvention Roundtable discussions, where we continue these conversations and explore the deeper lessons, insights, tools, and reflections that emerge from each story. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube so you never miss an episode. For Apple Podcast listeners, I would be grateful if you leave a rating or review. It helps reach more women who may need this conversation right now. And if you'd like to go deeper, join us on Substack at Elevate Within. There, you'll find weekly essays and honest conversations about burnout, grief, reinvention, resilience, healing, and the messy middle. Free subscribers receive full access to all public content, while paid subscribers receive bonus essays, early access to upcoming series, behind-the-scenes recording, and opportunities to engage directly with the community. If you know of a woman who needs to hear this conversation today, please share it with her. You can find me on LinkedIn under Sandra Davis, on Substack at Elevate Within, and if you're in need of fractional COO work or would like to book a discovery call on how I can help, you can reach out to me at elevateopsadvisory.com. You'll find all those links in the show notes. Until next time, keep elevating personally, professionally, and from within.